Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're here tonight with head coach of Elite FC, Colin Illner, and player Peter Marshall. Thank you both for coming here tonight. Let's start off with our head coach. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about your team and when did your team get started?
Well, our team Elite has been together for roughly about a year and a half now. We were formerly with Thunderbolts and we just separated. We were all friends. The core of the team, about 7 players, separated and started our own team. It's mostly older players, experience, and got some young players in and good players along with the young players. We usually get a good mix, and that's how Elite came about.
Okay. Would you say this is the first year, correct?
This is our first year in Casa. We played the Miramar Premier League last year and we won both knockout and the league finals. So that was our first year together as a team, and since this is our first year together as a Casa. So
in the Casa
our second major competition.
Okay, and what was your experience in a league as Casa? I do know the other league you mentioned is also another competitive league, but comparing.
Both leagues are pretty good. The Casa is a little bit bigger in terms of more teams, bigger crowds and stuff. Both leagues are reasonably competitive. You'll always have about 70 to 80% of the teams in the leagues are very competitive. So and some are more organized. But both leagues are good.
Okay. Mr. Marshall, Peter, do you mind I call you Peter?
That's fine.
Okay, Peter, tell us a little bit of what is your experience as a player in this league with Team Elite. You said you played in another team last year in this league, or this is your first time playing in the league?
Oh man, I'm here since the beginning of Casa started. I'm one of the veterans out here. So, who I played with last year? No, I was coaching the Lauderhill Juniors last year. So I didn't actually play. I took off a year to have a lot of injuries. But now when Elite formed, I was part of Thunderbolts as well. And when they formed, I liked that core players, whereas more mature players and less running around, more passing technical players. So I enjoy playing with them, so I stick with them. They asked me to stay around. I said I'll do that because I'm not getting any younger. So.
Okay. How is it being an ex-coach and now a player? Do you find any conflict now being on the team with having to take orders from your coach now who's sitting right beside you?
No, to tell you the truth, it doesn't, because first of all, once you have a good friendship between player coaches, you don't have anybody who's going to be wrong or right. You're a player, I'm a player right now. I listen to what the coach has to say. When they ask me my opinion, I'll tell them either halftime or after the game or before the game. During the game or during halftime, I really don't put out, okay, this person should do that. I don't get involved with the coaching staff when I'm playing.
I will say something about that because being among older players somewhat, it's not really older, but let's say half the team is close to the age of 30 or somewhere. Me personally, these guys have a lot of experience really, so I can come to Peter, come to Craig, say any of these guys have a word to them about what they think. They will give me their input. We'll make reasonable decisions. So it's, even though I'm so-called head coach, there's no dictatorship. We all reason together all the time and make at the end of the day, they are playing. I'm not. I just make an educated decision. 99% of the time, they won't have any problem with it. If they have a problem, they'll say, Colin, after the game, I think you should have done this or done that. So basically, it's worked out for us in that sense because, coaching grown men is not an easy task. So most of the time, you just have to just try and work with them, and their ego up there sometimes. So you just work with them and make them feel like it's good for others.
Well, one coach once mentioned how important discipline is in a team. Would you say your team has that core of discipline, and is that contributed to the success of where you are in the league right now?
Well, definitely. We have 2 types of discipline, and our team possesses one, and that's on the field discipline. When they're on the field, for the most part, they conduct themselves very well. I can almost be sure to tell you that we have not received any red cards this season in Casa, and we're probably the only team that comes. So when we're on the field, we conduct ourselves fine. The discipline number 2, where it comes on to training and playing practice match and being on time per game, our team does not have that much of that discipline because, as I said, there's a lot of big men and young kids working, going to school, people have injuries, people have other priorities. So in that aspect, our discipline is not where it could be. But when they come together, it's all a good group of young men, very disciplined, have manners, and on the field, discipline is excellent. I'll say that about my team.
Mr. Marshall, what are some of the challenges you faced this season as a player?
Lack of training. I'm a defender, and these guys are getting faster than me every time. So just more experience taking over right now for me. So I think that's like.
And which team would you say was that gave you the highest level of competition in your state right now that you're saying?
In my state right now, the highest, I think I say the Haitians have 2 falls up there, and they brought it on.
That's Team Haiti, correct?
That's Team Haiti. And I'm not saying they're better than me, I'm just saying they were fitter than me that day, but they took advantage of me the first half, but in the second half, the experience took over. We turned around and beat them 3-1.
Oh, congratulations.
So I said that was the team that gave me a challenge this year.
Okay.
Running wise, not technical wise.
You still have what it takes, huh?
And I'm not training.
Okay, Coach, what are some of your thoughts on this year's league, and what do you think we need to take it to the next level?
The league itself, for what it is very good. It's a good outsource for the youngsters in the community. The football is always good. A lot people come out here on fellowship Wednesday and Saturday, eat, drink, and food. So it's a good exposure, a good outsource. Football is always good. If I was in charge of the league, I would try to get the city or some private sector to turf both fields and try and get the environment into a stadium access, and maybe stands on both sides of the field. Maybe a little entrance fee, kids free or whatever, and maybe inevitably one day they could end up sharing the profits with the team on a given day, giving half to the teams that come and so forth, and half the league take half, because it's rough on the coaches most of the time. They are doing all of the funding for the team. If they could get something out of it, it would be good for them. So I think that would be a good idea with the league going. I'm very impressed with the levels that the league has gone up, and eventually it will reach that level. I wish that they could get both field turf, and but it's reaching there. So hopefully pretty soon, a year or 2 or 3, we'll get to that level where it could be actually a semi-pro league. And the level of competition is very good, so it has the ability.
Well, as you mentioned semi-pro, that's what I was going to ask your player, Mr. Marshall. How would you compare the level of plays received in this league comparing? I know you also played in a league at FIU, and that team you played on actually won the championship. How would you compare the level of play, the intensity, comparing to other leagues out there?
Well, the Casa League is basically local players, players who work and come and play every Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday. I can't compare the level of players what is in Casa to professionals. That is their job. They train 6 days a week and games on Sundays. That's what they're getting paid for. I would say skill-wise, players in Casa have skill-wise to play with the professional players, but the fitness is not there, because a professional team comes in, would come and use their technical skills, all of that, and push the ball around. Casa players will just, in the second half, you won't even notice the Casa players on the field. Now, if you have them to train for a couple of weeks to play a professional side, yes, you can play against a professional side. So the skill level is there, but the fitness is not there for the Casa players right now. That is my
night.
Thanks.